All right, folks, welcome back. Christian McCollum here with the Irish Sports Daily official visit. My guest today is the newest head coach of Springfield Central High School in Massachusetts, Bill Watson. Coach, first of all, congrats on the new gig.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, one of the things we've been talking, for a while now, and one of the things we were talking about recently is kind of the state of Massachusetts and prospects. And there's some guys that are probably overranked, some guys that might be a little underranked. And one of the guys that you thought should definitely be near the top of that list is Preston Zinter, who obviously committed to Notre Dame here Friday. Coach, what is it about Preston's game that really stands out to you?
Well, the first thing that stands out is every time I turn the film on, he's making plays. He's making plays on both sides of the football. He has a great motor. You can see that he's setting people up defensively, setting moves up throughout the course of the game. So he's not just a good athlete. He has a high IQ to go along with the motor, and then he's able to make plays on both sides of the football, like I said, and not just regular plays, not I catch the ball for a first down. He's running away from kids that are half his size. So when you see a kid with that type of athleticism and motor, that he has an opportunity to be great down the line. And he's one of those kids that, to me, he stands out. We also had the opportunity to compete against him twice, and we don't really. We kind of pride ourselves on, we don't really isolate people on film and say, hey, this kid's good. He's somebody that we had to identify and give that respect to. And in the last few years, there hasn't been many. I think we had tremendous amount of respect for Brunel when he was at St. John's Prep. Preston Zinter is one of the only kids that we've really ever spoken to outside of the team game as far as a player that we had to pay attention to.
All right. You guys, like you said, you played him twice. One time was an absolute shootout early in the season, and then you guys got a chance to get a little bit revenge on him there in Gillette Stadium in the state championship. You talked about watching my film, but seeing him in person, for yourself, what jumped out to you then?
Well, just the size and the athleticism, the speed that he plays at. He's, I don't want to guess. He's probably somewhere around that 225, 230 range. But he can move. He can move. He can change directions. He can get downhill. He can get downhill fast. Those to me were the things that kind of caught my attention, and some of the things we had to focus on when competing against him.
All right, and like you said, he's very versatile. Can play on both sides of the ball. Does so in high school, obviously. But Notre Dame's looking at him as linebacker. What do you think he'll do best at that position? What about his athleticism and versatility suits that position so well?
Well, the versatility stands out first and foremost. I'm not sure, what Notre Dame is doing on defense right now. He can play defensive end. I think he would be a exceptional outside linebacker in 3-4 because he can get after the quarterback and he can drop and cover as well. And he's long. So he can get in them passing lanes and be disruptive as well. So the versatility, in my opinion, is what is the first thing I think about when I think about him playing at the next level. That he can get after the quarterback. He'll do a great job rushing the passer, and he also can play backwards. And he can get back in coverage, and he can be a factor there. He has good hands. Obviously, he plays receiver. So if he gets his hands on the football, he can get an interception as opposed to just knocking it down. And so, you always want to put a big, there's a big deal when you can kind of flip the chains and give your team, have the opportunity to give your team possession of the football. And he's also capable of getting an interception and taking it back to the house. So, he's potentially a game changer wherever he goes.
You have an interesting outlook on the 2023 class as a whole that goes beyond just being a coach in the state of Massachusetts and coaching against a guy like Preston. You were leading a youth program for years, playing across the country against a lot of these guys that you're hearing about now in the 2023 class. With your son, Massachusetts quarterback Pop Watson, who's getting a lot of love already as well. First of all, what's it like, to kind of see these young kids that you've been watching since they were almost little tykes come across now, and they're really, the center stage of recruiting. And what's the latest with Pop?
In regards to watching the kids grow, I did get the opportunity to see a lot of them at a young age and kind of, get to compete against a lot of the kids. And I also had a lot of the kids play, for me, whether it be I'm on the travel team. I had the opportunity to coach at the All-American game when those guys were in 8th grade in Ohio. And, a lot of the guys played for me, or we played against them at that time. So, you got a chance to see things from a perspective of how they practice, how competitive they are, who took well to the competitive environment, and who folded. But some of that information you keep to yourself as a coach, because they're still young players and kids, and they still have the opportunity to grow. But just for me, being able to watch how some kids are, developed, how some kids are looked at, and also remembering my experience with them and the perspective that I saw them, it's been great to just kind of watch. As far as Pop goes, what was the question about him?
What's the latest with him? I know he recently got offered by Nebraska, and that's a big one given the coaching staffs. And what other schools have been involved with him right now?
Yeah, he's the Nebraska offer was big. Not too long ago, he was down to, I would say probably 2 schools that were kind of standing out. And that would have been Pitt and Oregon were the 2 schools. And then, college football is college football, so a lot of things changed in a short period of time. The Oregon staff left. Coach Cristobal went to Miami. And Coach Moorhead, who was his primary recruiter and the offensive coordinator at Oregon, took the head coaching position at Akron. And so when Coach Moorhead landed at Akron, he offered him as soon as he got there. And then Coach, I said that was Coach Moorhead, and then Coach Whipple left Pitt, and he went to Nebraska. And so when he got to Nebraska, we had a conversation with him. We went down there for the junior day, and they offered him down there as well. And so those are 2 new scenarios. And then I would say another one that unfolded recently was Coach Brown getting the head coaching position at UMass. That was very big, because Coach Brown is another coach who we've had a good relationship with. Obviously, he was at Michigan when Michigan offered. He was at Arizona when Arizona offered. And so him going back to UMass kind of puts, UMass back in the picture, because the coaches that are at the school, although we know that coaches, they come and they go, the coaches at the school and the level of belief that they have in them is important, especially at the QB position, because, you have to go somewhere where the coaches believe in you. You can't program chase. You can't go looking, trying to get in, in with the biggest program you can get in. I think that's why a lot of kids hit the transfer portal. You got to go where good people are and the people that believe in you most. And so I think that's what we're looking into right now. And that's what he's trying to figure out. So, like you said, he got the offer from Nebraska. He had Akron. He's got UConn. He has a couple other schools that are reaching out and communicating, and we'll see how things play out in the next couple of weeks. But I'm hoping that he can come up with a decision sooner than later. I thought he was in a good place not too long ago, but like I said, things changed. So.
Okay. And you guys had a chance to get out to Notre Dame this summer and throw for Coach Reese and them. What were just your impressions of Notre Dame, the campus, the program, whatever, or Coach Reese? What are your thoughts coming away from there?
It was a great experience. That was the first time that I obviously I've been on Notre Dame's campus. It's a beautiful campus. We took a lot of pictures. We talked to the coaches. Coach McNulty was taking us around. We got a chance to talk to the whole staff there. We talked to Coach Reese. Spent a lot of time with him. Worked out. And he had a great workout. I thought he threw the ball well. I don't want to exaggerate, but I don't think he missed a throw that day. I think he hit every throw. And they were definitely impressed with what they saw. When you get to a school like Notre Dame, they've been recruiting kids since, had their eye on guys since 7th, 8th grade. So, he worked his way on the board. where on the board he is at, we don't know. Just have fun with the process. We don't really stress out about, who's going to offer, who's not. We go in there, we put the work in. He puts the work in. I should say I just drive him around. He puts the work in, and we shake hands and we leave. And if they like it or if they love it, then they let us know. And if they if they don't, or if they have someone ranked higher than him on the board, we respect it, and we move to the next school and let them know what he has to offer. But I thought he had a great day at Notre Dame. He liked it. He was surprised. We both were probably surprised by it because you don't know. I didn't know what to expect from Notre Dame. The history, I know the tradition. But I thought the people on campus were nice. And when he left, I remember him telling me that was a place that he could see himself, being. So we kind of left it at that.
Another quarterback that you work pretty close with XL Academy and you guys 7-on-7 is 2024 quarterback Ryan Puglisi. He works out with Pop a lot. What do you tell? We've seen a little bit about Ryan. What do you like about Ryan so much?
Well, the first thing that would stand out, if anybody watches Ryan, is he has a cannon. He has a cannon for an arm. And so when that ball comes out, it's very live when it comes out of his hand. And over the last couple of years, he's worked very hard with his accuracy and consistency. And I think, for someone that throws with the velocity that he throws, for him to be as accurate as he is now, is tremendous. He has good size, and he has very good athleticism with the size. So his potential is off the charts. I believe he's at Avon now. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see what he looks like in that system. I think he's going to have a great season. He plays 7-on-7 with us. Very competitive. But very poised. You know what I mean? He's just a good kid. Him and Pop do work out a lot together, and they all they do is compete. You know what I mean? Like, even when they're not working out, like they might, when they're finished, they want to see like who can stand at the 50 and hit the cross, first, and then let's see who can hit the line on the. Just watching them is funny. I get a kick out of just watching them too. They sit in the car on an 8-hour trip. They probably go back there playing tic-tac-toe, for money or something. But I think they push each other, and they're buddies, they're good friends, But when they get together, they're getting together and they're working and they're pushing each other to be the best. And one time I seen them at a one day or a showcase, and just to hear them two interacting with each other and remind each other, hey, listen, be first in the drill. We going, you on the other side, it's me and you. That their confidence on a national stage is something to watch as well. And he's gonna have a great career.
Another prospect that Notre Dame fans will probably be familiar with is Joe Griffin, 2022 wide receiver who committed to BC. And you're not just Joe Griffin's coach or offensive coordinator. You've coached Joe since he was a little guy with those guys. And Notre Dame fans, kind of, they ended up just landing one receiver. And I think a lot of fans were thinking, hey, where was our, we should have gone after some other guys. And Joe's name comes up a lot. But, I think, you tell me, but I think Joe was pretty set on BC for a while, right? I don't think if Notre Dame would have spun back to him come December that, they would have been able to shake him loose, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that, Notre Dame got to him a little late. Mm-hmm. Joe Griffin is a kid out of this area that, again, for whatever reason, it took for him, you didn't hear his name. I knew the people that were that are really involved in the community and the football community out here knew what type of players his opposing coaches knew. But, the national people didn't know about him until I think he went to like USA Football. And then he crushed everybody down there. Then he went to Rivals, mm-hmm. and he destroyed everybody. I mean, he destroyed everybody down there. I don't want to kind of sugarcoat it. It was some, top whatever you want to call them, DBs there. And there was not a DB in attendance that could do anything with him. He had his way with anybody and everybody. And that is the Joe Griffin that I've known, all my life. And so, I was kind of like thrown aback when I see like he wasn't getting that national attention, because I'm like, everywhere he goes, he's dominant. He's been dominant, and he's been like that since 8th grade. And he's got the height, he's got the size. I think he's 6'4", 205 right now. He's been windmill dunking since his freshman year. The kid's he's a freak athlete. And I've been telling people since he was in 9th grade, like he's going to play on Sundays. God willing, he stays healthy. And nothing crazy happens. Like, he's a Sunday player. And but we kind of get undervalued out here in Mass. Some of it is our own doing as well. We have to get out as a state and compete and show that that we can compete with other areas, that we're willing to compete with other areas. But Notre Dame, they would have had. He's a special player, and I think they knew it, and they found out a little late. But it was kind of too late, because he's not a big. A lot of times you can come in as Notre Dame, you can come in late and you can grab a kid. But he is not a college football junkie. So he wasn't blown away just, because it's Notre Dame. And in his mind, he was like, listen, I know the BC coaches. They've told me what I wanted to hear. He was kind of like, I'm good. I don't really need to keep running around looking for another school. I think I'm going to be all right there. And so, as a coach, I'm like, listen, if you're comfortable and your parents are comfortable, then, I'm comfortable as well. And we kind of rolled there. But, Notre Dame, they were right in identifying him, and they were right in going after him. But it was just a little late when they did.
First time I saw Joe Griffin, I think, we went with Tommy Guy, see Brennan play with you guys in it was at Central, but it was these guys' 8th grade year, and I'm just like blown away by these kids. I'm looking at Pop, like, who's that? You guys had some safety that was amazing. And then I seen Joe Griffin line up wide and run a fade in the red zone. I'm just like, who is that kid? That's not fair. He's like 6'2". He looked like a varsity high school star, and he's running 8th grade, running a fade against some 5'3" corner. Good luck. So, yeah. All right, Coach. Well, hey, man, we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We enjoy your insight. Good luck with Pop. Good luck with Ryan. Good luck to Joe. And we'll be in touch.
All right. Thanks for having me. Take care.